The following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside, off of the back straightaway. 26 and Hallmark trying to go 3 wide. No one's with them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's gonna dive it in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2x2. The 65 gets the win.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Hello and welcome, race fans, back to Primetime Racing TV, back here with the ASRS Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series from the Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Brandon Krutz. Joining me, as always, is Corey Silva. Corey Silva doubling as our tech producer every night. And behind the scenes is our specialist here, Joe Chris, letting us know where all the action is out on the track. So good to be back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway short track race at Corey. You know I love that.
Yeah, definitely. Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile, it is dubbed as. We'll be racing for 200 laps tonight. These drivers currently in qualifying at the moment. Do want to apologize. There is some technical issue with the internet right now that is causing a little bit of a choppy broadcast. So we are hoping that does alleviate. So again, bear with us with that. But we can let you know the qualifying times right now as the graphic pops up. Jeff Ward is P1.
Yeah, so far top 3 in qualifying are Jeff Ward, Brian Yazik, and Evan Black back there as well. So should be, these times actually, Corey, very close throughout the top 3 and throughout the top 5 for that matter.
Yeah, with Bristol, obviously everyone is really under a blanket in terms of times. It is only 15 seconds around this place, so you can see the top 3 all within about 6/100ths of a second. So indeed, close times.
Qualifying.
A large field here tonight. There are about 33 drivers, I believe, in the field for tonight's race. So with Bristol being a predominantly high groove racetrack, it's going to be difficult to make passes, and you're going to have to see some really big slide jobs. So just as a little bit of a reference as to where the point standings sit in the Premier Twitchy Race Reports Cup Series right now, Jeff Ward with 4 wins on the season thus far is your points leader by 14 points over Jared Mogard right now. And of course, where would Ward be on the scoreboard than in P1? So again, showing the dominance is Jeff Ward this season.
Yeah, absolutely. He's won quite a few races already this season, and maybe looking to get one more here tonight.
And second place is Jared Mogard, who is 6th right now. And then we have Jordan Ashland 3rd in points. Brian Yazik 4th. Drew Carroll in 5th. Jason Stewart in 6th. Steve Ritter, Jim Foose, Alan Young, and Mark Emerson round out the top 10. Separated by 87 points is first 10th positioned.
Close battle in the points, definitely, for what it is. And let me tell you guys, it'll be a really close battle here tonight. Looking at these qualifying times, looking at how close everything was, especially here in practice, it should be a good show as these guys are getting ready to get onto the grid here.
Yeah, the 10-minute qualifying session is basically over at this point, so it is time, without further ado, to switch to the PTR TV starting lineup here at the world's fastest half mile, the Bristol Motor Speedway. On the pole tonight with his lap time of 15.322 seconds is Jeff Ward, so we offer our congratulations to him on that lap. Brian Yazik on the outside of the front row. In 3rd is Evan Black. 4th is Drew Carroll. And then 5th we have Troy Haight. Jared Mogard in 6th. 7th is Sam Maxwell. Tom Gianni in 8th. Mark Emerson in 9th. And Jared Haggerty rounding out the top 10.
Starting in 11th is going to be Steve Ritter. 12th is Andrew Garrels. 13th is Alan Young. 14th is David Howard Jr. 15th, John Kennedy. 16th, Nick Sterling. 17th, Brandon Boy. Then it's going to be Jim Foose, Jordan Miller. Rounding out top 20 is Tim Knott. Corey?
And 21st, Jay Graves Jr., Jack Wells in 22nd, Chris Titus in 23rd, Steve Buhala in 24th position, Jason Stewart in the top 25, and then 26, Josh Gallagher, Raymond Castile, Andy Veltman, Devin Serra, and Mitch Brown, your top 30.
Rounding out the field will be Carson Obe and Sean Muzik. 32 cars on the grid here, ladies and gentlemen. Should be a good show around the Bristol Motor Speedway. These guys ready to go green, ready to go fast here around the last great Coliseum.
I forgot that name, Brandon. Very good. That's usually something that I would be the one to remember, but give the last great Coliseum, the world's fastest half mile, Thunder Rally, what else do we call this place? Jetson, a cereal bowl. I mean, they've said just about everything about Bristol, so it'll be an interesting race nonetheless. And I do want to give a shout out to our camera specialist, Track Cams 4 Gourmets. The views we will be using tonight are from Estevan. You can check his work out, trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams.
Should be an awesome show, just waiting for these guys to get rolled off. Should be any moment now.
And it'll be 2 pace laps around Bristol. Jeff Ward starting on the inside. Something that is not offered in the American Sim Racing Series is lane choice. So at Bristol, we know you predominantly want to be on the outside. But Ward will be stuck to the inside, so these restarts will be paramount for him.
And we are getting word that the broadcast is starting to look a little bit better, but we do apologize if it's still a little bit choppy for you guys. But Corey doing the best he can here tonight, does an awesome job behind the scenes, as well as in the booth up here with us. These guys will get one more pace lap around the Bristol Motor Speedway before they get underway here for the first time of the night.
Yeah, I am trying to kind of work with what the internet is allowing me to work with right now, so it's not going to be as perfect as usual, but hopefully it is a decent enough watching experience to you, and hopefully it does clear up as the broadcast does progress. But we are on the back straightaway here, so within a quarter of a mile, this race will be underway.
These guys stacked up, doubled up, ready to go green flag racing at Bristol. Ladies and gentlemen, the ASRS Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series from the Bristol Motor Speedway. 32 drivers ready to go green flag racing. Pace car is pulling down into pit lane. The field in the hands of Jeff Ford. He's on the throttle. Green flag is in the air.
They come with the jump on the inside is Ward. He's going to ring it around the bottom as his opening turn that he does do. Takes the lead with style right there. And here comes Brian Yazik in the 55 right up top with already going for a run.
The 55 jumps up into the high side by side for the lead, heading down into turn number 1.
Yazik has the advantage up top. That's where you want to be. Very surprising that Ward gave it to him. So already on lap 2, we have a lead change.
One thing I would like to point out that was said in the driver's briefing earlier is these guys, they have to be careful hitting the wall here. League officials pointed out that if they use the wall to gain an advantage, it will be a points penalty.
And that kind of something you wouldn't want to think about is hitting the wall, but if you do it at the right angle, it is kind of a way to help the car turn. Not quite a sportsman move, though. But you can see here we have Steve Ritter in the 16. He hit the wall, but not to his advantage. Drops back off of Troy Haight, but we do have a battle. Andrew Garrels and David Howard Jr. side by side.
Yeah, back here for around the 13th position. It looks like that number 19 car starting to drop down through the field. Corey looks like he got stuck on the bottom lane here, trying to get his way up to the top, but there's no gap.
Yeah, that is what happens here at Bristol. You kind of get stuck in that groove, and you're just kind of waiting. Almost the reverse of a restrictor plate track where you run on the outside by yourself. You're waiting for the hole on the outside to open so you can get up there.
Still not quite able to get up as that 19 of Andrew Garrels got the 62 machine right above him now after the 24 machine of Alan Young should have a gap to get up to the top of the racetrack.
Alan Young on the 24. There's a little bit of an opening here off of turn number 2. Not enough. Alan Young is going to fill that spot in, so Garrels will drop back even one more position as the run on the outside for the 24 machine. He will go to the top, and Garrels will get himself into position, but jumping up to the lead right now, Brian Yazik doing a pretty good job, up by about 0.4 of a second over Ward.
Yeah, Brian Yazik doing a great job to show the speed of that race machine here tonight, but tell you what, there's been some really close racing so far. He's not getting very far. Jeff Ford is still right there.
Yeah, all of a sudden Ward surged within that last lap, got to the back bumper. You could see him trying to cut all the way to the inside, trying to see if he can get a runoff corner exit. It did work just a little bit for him. He's got to pull some kind of strategy off. We know how hard it is to pass.
Yeah, absolutely. The bottom lane does not work here as Brian Yazik gets up on the outside wall just a little bit. Didn't gain nor lose from that. It looked like Jeff Ford may have had to check up just a little bit there, lost a little bit of ground, but now coming down off of turn number 4 across the start finish line. Brian Yazik going to hold the lead, but here comes the 85 closing into the back bumper 90.
On board right now with Drew Carroll in the 85, and you can kind of tell there is a little bit of a line difference, especially in 1 and 2. I saw Carroll running about a lane higher. Who was that? Ward was running about the middle. You could see him doing that, but the leader kicking some sparks up is Yazik. Also Carroll running that lane even higher, right up against the fence.
Now the 85 ducks down to the inside, trying to get underneath the 90 of Jeff Ward. Not going to work that time by. He lost more ground, did not help him out at all. It actually hurt him, but now Jeff Ward starting to sneak up to the back bumper to 55.
First
caution. Have a caution on the speedway.
It's Alan Young in the 24. We were just watching him not too long ago. 76. Oh, there's a little bit of a junkyard going on there.
Yeah.
We'll go back on
it looks
replay.
Like the first car to go around, Corey, it was the 62 machine that was the first car to go around there. caused a junkyard down there in turn number 1.
Curling was to the inside, and Young, I don't know if he got loose or what, but he hooked him in the right rear there, and that just kind of blocked the racetrack. You can see the 76 getting some damage. Jim Foose getting around. The 25 came to a dead stop.
The 27 of Jordan Ashland also involved. Heavy front end damage to that machine.
And Brian Yazik, 15 laps in, takes it immediately to pit road, takes the question out that I was just about to ask of pit strategy, but here they come down pit road. And Brandon, something that we don't see very often here on iRacing with the field sizes, both sets of pit roads are going to be open tonight.
Yeah, something that could play advantage or disadvantage some of these teams. Obviously, the guys who started up towards the front of this thing will have a greater advantage than the guys in the back. The guys in the back gonna have to circle around to the second pit road.
Now you can see here from the top camera here that it does look like there is only one driver, I believe, on the back straightaway pits that I can see. At least I only saw one war wagon back there. I can try to get a better look at it later, but there were three drivers to stay out, 2 drivers even. Looks like things are shuffling through. So Tom Gianni is on the racetrack, scored as the leader now. Did stay out. And Sean Music is on pit road. So yeah, it looks like it was just Gianni staying on the racetrack.
I am seeing possibly 3 to 4 pit stalls back there on the backstretch there, Corey.
Yeah, so that is just, I believe it's about 23 to 24 stalls on the front straightaway. So everybody who is at the latter end of the grid, the starting grid here today, did have to go there on the back straightaway, as Gianni does go to pit lane. So that will shuffle the 55 back to where he was in P1. And Brandon, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little surprised they pit this early. I know how much track position means here. I really did think that we'd see more drivers stay out.
Yeah, you know, I think this early in the race, it's just these drivers do not want to risk playing strategy. All it takes is a little bit of contact with the rear end to send one of these guys around. They just don't want to risk the damage to the race cars here tonight.
Yeah, it is definitely a difficult track and a difficult situation, but we will see what happens as the race progresses if the strategies do change. But we are on 1 to go right now, so the field will get ready to get racing yet again. They will get lined up, 55 to the inside, 90 to the outside. We saw how that worked on the initial start. Let's see how it plays out now.
18 laps down, 200 and some laps to go here, or 180 some laps to go here, rather. Tonight's pace car will pull down into pit lane once again, this time by the field. Ready to get back under the green flag. Brian Yazik has control of the field. He's on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air.
And he got some wheel spin there, almost got loose up the track into the 90, but he did remain under control of that vehicle and will get the lead. And here comes the 85, trying to sneak under Jeff Wood for second.
2 by 2 by 2 right now. Drew Carroll doing his best down there in the 85 machine to get around the 90, and Jeff Ward, that bottom line, not playing out too well for him. He's going to find a spot right behind Jeff Ward.
At the inside, not working for these drivers at all at the moment, but here comes the number 00. That is Jared Bogard underneath Evan Black here. I don't think he's going to go anywhere with that pass, but he's not giving up. Takes a big dive into turn number 1 underneath the 99.
Evan Black has the advantage up on the high side right now. Jared Mogard, the 00 down at the bottom of the racetrack, now trying to fight for position. Evan Black going to hold him off as of right now for that 4th position, trying to gain back. He slid back to 5th from that initial start, trying to gain some positions back.
Yeah, he's still is the 00 working the bottom of the racetrack, and we know that when you're on the inside, you're putting a lot more wheel into it. That could definitely affect the tires later in the run.
Absolutely. A couple of cars getting into the wall back behind it there, but Jared Mogard drives it deep. A power move to the bottom of the racetrack down into turn 3. Didn't quite work for him, or actually hurt him there on corner exit.
Yeah, so he will fall back into line here in the 5th position. Sam Maxwell in the 98 is trying to gain on them, as is Jared Haggerty, Mark Emerson, Steve Ritter, and John Kennedy. That is the top 10 at the moment. But up front, Brian Yazik, it looks like he is going to be a very difficult machine to pass tonight. Already out to about a 4/10 lead in just these few laps since the restart.
Car round turn 1, no caution is out yet.
Brandon Boyd in the 60, heavy damage, as well as the 43 machine. Steve Buhala, he has some heavy damage both to the inside, trying to get out of the way. But while we are at that point in the field, there is some passing going on. The number 19, Andrew Garrels, talked about him earlier, trying to make a pass on the 08 rather, and does look like that is about to conclude itself. Actually, the 8 is already 1 lap down, as Jay Graves Jr. right ahead of this.
Yeah, once again, that 19 stuck on the bottom of the racetrack. You can see the damage to that 19 machine as well, involved in an earlier incident there, but now the 41 right above him wasn't able to slide up on time.
And 19 still stuck to the inside, trying to get by Tim Knott. Tim Knott also is off of the lead lap now, was involved in an earlier incident, so just trying to get by these lap machines, and even still, that is not an easy feat.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the front end damage to Jordan Ashland's cars. He's trying to fight through this, Corey. I don't think he'll have to worry about temps.
Yeah, I definitely would not believe that to be the case, kind of driving what looks nearly like a modified is that 27 machine, but again, with the aerodynamics here not meaning too much, he is hanging on just fine. Battle for the 4th position still. Jared Mogard not giving up on Evan Black for the 4th position with the dive to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Black all the way against the fence, Mogard in the middle. They meet down the straightaway, still the advantage to the 99.
Now, something that makes me a little bit curious here, Corey, is if you're on the inside of someone, is the possibility of maybe a slide job type move available as an option?
It is, but it's really easy just to get crossed back over, because you're going to put so much effort into that dive, and then you're either going to hit the wall in the center, you're going to clear him, get crossed over, or you're just going to door the guy. Those are really the 3 options, so it really just kind of takes a lot of methodical laps and getting a guy to make a mistake, or actually, there you go. Clean pass to the inside. I think Black may have gave him a break there, but move Mogard up to 4th.
And Jared Mogard hitting the wall just a little bit there. Didn't help him or hurt him that time. So a new guy up to 4th place is going to be Jared Mogard on a 0-0.
Yeah, so we'll see what goes on if he can catch Carroll. Their leaders are in pretty heavy traffic now. Brian Yazik has caught the field right now. He is trying to catch the number 11 machine to put him a lap down, the number 11 being Jason Stewart. And we'll see what this does for the rest of the field, if it allows everybody to catch back up and have a little bit of a created battle for the lead.
And now some of these guys, just like that 11 machine, are not going to move for these leaders, Corey. That plays into effect as well.
Yeah, they need to stay on the lead lap. They need the lucky dog spot, so they have absolutely no reason to move out of the way. Obviously, that is not what the leaders want to see, but they have every right to the track, as the leaders do.
That just allowed all 3 of these guys to catch up to one another, as 85 got a little bit loose there down on the bottom of the racetrack, but all 3 of these leaders now back under a blanket.
And that's just going to force a position of waiting for a mistake. Are these guys going to make a mistake? Are these guys going to hit the wall, maybe use the lappers as a pick? Those are the easiest ways to make a pass here.
5, Brian Yazik now putting the 27 of Jordan Ashland a lap down. That's a very damaged race car there. Now, the 90, Jeff Ward, trying to get around him as well. He gets by him successfully.
And
lap traffic is huge here, Corey.
And this is where Mogard is taking the advantage to try to catch back up. So we'll see if that does continue. Maybe Mogard has a chance now, as here comes the 85 all the way to the back bumper of the 90. But Yazik is starting to pull away again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a matter of time before they get up to the lap traffic again, however, and possibly those guys will be able...
Maybe using those tires up too much, trying to get in this position, so that could also be said for the drivers behind him. So if this does go green quite a ways, we will have to take note of that.
Looks like the 90 and the 85 may be starting to reel him in slowly but surely once again. Seems like a game of cat and mouse right now.
Yeah, it most certainly does. So it's just, like I said, it's going to be a matter of trying to use a pick, but it does look like some of the lappers are choosing to run the bottom of the track.
Oh boy, Yazic's going to get boxed in.
Now this is the chance. What are they going to do? Tim Knott in the 41 is right ahead of this. He will go to the inside, allow the top three to get by with relative ease.
Looks like these guys gonna get around. I've noticed just from that little corner there, Corey, it looks like... Oh,
caution
we've
on
got
the
a caution right in front of the leaders, the 24.
Sean Music, it looks like he was right behind it, so we'll go back on a replay and try to figure out what we can. See
heavy
here,
damage to that 24 machine.
To the inside of the 28 of Troy Haight. It looks like, oh, there it is, the 14. It all started
with the 62 and the 14. Those guys, not the first incident that they've been involved in today.
Yeah, we'll go back, try to get a better look at that. Yep, 14, they just cut a little bit. You came high, I came low. The 24 got the worst end of that.
Head-on hit to the outside safety barrier with Alan Young. Heavy impact.
So,
leaders coming down pit road, though.
Yes, they are. While this stop goes on, I'm going to take a quick opportunity to try to improve the viewing experience for you guys. So just stay tuned for a brief moment. We'll be back with you before the restart. And we are back here on PTR TV. I did have to tinker with some things, kind of take a little bit away to add a little bit in a different area, so it should help the stream quality, at least as good as it can be. Again, apologies for that, kind of out of my control at the moment. But regardless of all that, we are on one to go right now.
Yeah, big shout out to Corey for doing everything he can behind the scenes, and a big thank you to him as well for everything that he does for this channel. But pace car ready to make its way back down into pit lane once again. 85, 00, 99 are your top three for the restart. 85 on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air.
The jump for the 85 gets the lead by far. Jared Mogard in the second position now. And here comes Evan Black in the third. Right now, battle is for fourth. Sam Maxwell and Steve Ritter.
Down at a turn number 4 now. Now 16 down on the bottom. The 98 up on the high side. Advantage goes to 98 and 16. Trying to fight back on the low line.
Yeah, Steve Ritter doing a really good job in that 16, trying to hang on, but it's going to be kind of a task that he is not going to be able to win. He's going to lose that spot, but he will shut the door in front of Jared Haggerty.
Contact between Steve Ritter and Jared Haggerty back there for that 5th position.
18 of Mitch Brown with a dive to the inside.
Cluster of cars back here right now for around 5th on back, Corey. This is some good racing going on. A little bit of contact even further. The 18 machine diving it down in power move down in turn 3 off of turn number 4.
Yeah, he did the best he could. He went for a pass, but it's going to work out in the opposite favor. He's going to end up getting, as we said, stuck on the inside. He might be able to squeeze in behind Mark Emerson if he's quick with it.
22, Mark Emerson trying to gain ground as well. Now the 18 stalls out onto the bottom. 22 and the Zigs almost getting together once again.
Yeah, tight battle here off of corner number 2. The 18 needs to get up in front of Tom Gianni. He is still trying to fight that inside lane. I think he needs to get up to the top. He's going to do that right now. Actually, Gianni's going to take a look up there. We've lost Gianni.
Gianni in the 44 machine, possible internet connection issues. There he is. Now he showed back up. Just scared the living daylights out of the 28 machine.
Yeah, and us here in the booth, because you never know where these drivers are. If obviously the internet is going sour, kind of a recurring theme tonight apparently. But still, Mitch Brown will now get to the top of the racetrack and fall into the 8th position. But up front, Drew Carroll is out to nearly a 1-second lead already.
He's got some lap traffic coming up though, Corey. The 80 machine now brings it down to the bottom of the racetrack. Just kidding, slips it back up. Had to check up a little bit to the 85, Drew Carroll. Now the 1 machine gets out of his way.
That did cost about 2/10 for Jared Mogard. Well, rather, it allowed Jared Mogard to close in 2/10 onto the back bumper of the 85, so that gap's just a hair over a half second. Evan Black about a little over a second back in 3rd.
Something to point out, Corey, already 64 laps into this thing. Look at how dark that upper groove is starting to get on this racetrack. And just the grooves through the corner in general, the racetrack's starting to become very rubbered in.
Yeah, that is something that does happen here on iRacing with the dynamic track model. So these drivers will really have to keep note of that, how the car is driving. They may have to move down the track as the race progresses.
But Drew Carroll out to a solid lead so far into this thing. Jared Mogard in 2nd. Evan Black holding that 3rd position.
We'll try to find some battles on the racetrack right now, see what's going on. Looks like everyone is kind of in their own little bubble right now as this race is flying by. We're already 67 laps into it. Jim Foose to the outside, rather. Jeff Ward, I don't know what happened to him on the last stop, Brandon, if you can maybe elaborate on that for us. But Ward back in the 12th position, just passing Jim Foose.
Yeah, not really too sure there, Corey. I didn't get any information myself, but it looks like the 18 machine and the 16 machines just battling it out hard up here right now for that 5th position, but the 18 gets round up on top of the racetrack.
Yes, he does. So here comes Maxwell, still with the run in the number 98. He will pull in front. Big wiggle from the 18 machine of Mitch Brown there as Maxwell in the fence.
Yeah, Maxwell got up at the outside wall. That hurt him quite a bit down through the center of the corner. Now the 18 diving it down into the bottom of the racetrack, trying to pull the move down low. Not going to work that time by.
See, he's really trying to slow roll the inside of the racetrack here. That's really the only way you get it to work, is if you can get all the way to the inside. And he does have position, and he makes the pass.
Wow, makes a pass down on the low side. I've never really seen that groove work as well for anybody as well as it's working for him right now, Corey.
Yeah, maybe that is something that these guys will have to watch out for. As we said, when the top starts to rubber in, it starts to heat up, which it already is doing. It is going to take some grip away, and it may open up some of the lower grooves on the racetrack. So perhaps Mitch Brown already has figured that out.
Absolutely. So Mitch Brown, move him up to the 4th position.
So now that we are on lap number 75, let's just kind of give a little bit of a speed summary of the top 10 here at Bristol. See how fast these guys are on the racetrack right now. Your leader just ran a 16.5, who actually the fastest driver in the top 3 was Evan Black in 3rd by a couple thousandths of a second. Evan Black, however, is 1.5 seconds back and running only 5 1,000ths of a second faster. Is obviously not going to amount to too much time, but he is starting to close the gap on Jared Mogard in the 00.
Everything pretty spread out here so far, considering how tight everything is in the Bristol Motor Speedway. But folks, while the entire racing surface is kind of covered out with cars, why don't we bring you a little bit of Feel the Thunder? All right, folks, hope everybody enjoys that one. Now, still out front is Drew Carroll battling through some heavy lap traffic. A couple of guys side by side in front of him. He's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, Drew Carroll is stuck right now behind the number 89 machine of John Kennedy, as well as the number 80 machine. The 80 does get by, give the track away for the leader, that is Jack Wells. But you can see here, Jared Mogard has dropped back quite a ways, and now Evan Black is right to his tail.
Yeah, Jared Mogard, that 00 machine. Now Evan Black maybe looking to take over to that 2nd position here, and really nowhere to make a pass at the moment. Just lap traffic everywhere between these guys right now.
Yeah, that's just short track racing, as you know, Brandon. The track, once you get long green flag runs, it just gets completely encompassed in cars, and you're just going to get to phases where you have empty track, and you're going to get to phases where you can't catch a break.
Evan Black right to the back bumper of Jared Mogard. Now this could be a battle for 2nd place. Evan Black right to the back bumper, maybe a little bit of a wiggle down off turn number 4. That last time by keeps it straight. A little bit of contact with wall, now ducks below him.
Yeah, we saw Mitch Brown able to run the inside lane. I wonder if the number 99 is going to be able to do that feat. So he's going to have a little bit of work to do to get there, because again, we know how difficult it is to pass here.
Yeah, absolutely. Jared Mogard was able to make that pass on the low side. We've seen the 18 of Mitchell Brown make that move down on the low side as well to make a couple of passes. So maybe Evan Black could be able to do it if he gets up to the back bumper.
Yeah, he is right there, and now takes it to the inside. We'll see if he has the same luck that the 18 had. Does not look like he did.
Power off.
Got really loose off corner exit, lost about 2 to 3 car lengths in that process.
And as you said, Corey, you really do have to kind of slow roll it around here on the inside line anyways, otherwise it's not going to work. But here comes the 18 machine.
Mitch Brown, we saw him really, as we said, running that inside groove. We'll see if he's able to do it. Lost the time on corner exit, which is to be expected as Black is closing in again on Mogard in the 00. But here comes Brown with a look to the inside.
Not quite able to get there that last time by. Maybe it's something that just works better on fresher tires. But as I say that, look at the power off the corner he got there from the bottom.
All the way to about the middle of the racetrack, then trying to get whatever run he can get off corner exit. The 99 got loose. 99 got loose down, and that actually got into Mitch Brown, costing him some time there, but they remain side by side. Nope, Black does clear.
Evan Black was trying to stay off the back bumper to 00, ended up hurting him and Mitch Brown just a little bit there. I almost think Jared Mogard was holding up that 99 machine a little bit, or so it looked like from our view, but now Mitch Brown trying to fight to the inside of Evan Black once again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you're right, Brandon, that the 00 is holding both of these drivers up, as Drew Carroll now about 2.5 seconds up on the field right now. We're approaching halfway, but a pretty good run to the inside is the 18. He got side by side with the 99 to the door, and a big slide into turn number 3. Try to do the slide job, but he won't quite get there.
Not quite gonna get there.
Oh,
now
really?
The 18 machine powers off the turn 4 there. I am very impressed on how he's making that bottom side work, Corey.
And I wonder if Evan Black, who's hard into the fence, if he's giving him a little bit of a break there, but I don't know if Mogard is going to have the same gratuity here, as he's going to drive it all the way to the bottom. Perhaps this is the slide job. Perhaps he's going to make that bottom work. What do you know?
Mitch Brown all the way up to P2. That 18 machine working the bottom of the racetrack of all things.
If you can see all the way to the inside, right against the transition between the asphalt and the concrete, if you can get those left side tires and that tiny bit of light concrete that has not had the rubber on it, that seems to be where the grip is. And I think that 18, when he hits that just right, he's getting those left side tires there, and that's giving him just enough grip.
Absolutely. I do think that he's got something going, but how fast is he going to burn those tires off, Corey?
Well, he's not, because we're going to pull up the lap tracker here. Yet again, he was 0.3 faster than the leader last time by, and the leader's an open track now.
And this time by, cross flags are in the air, halfway down, halfway to go here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Mitch Brown trying to play catch-up at this point.
Mitch Brown was the only one in the 16s last time by, so he still has what is working for him right now. He's going to look to the inside of the 89. That is John Kennedy, a slower car. But we still have the battle for third now. Is Mogard and Evan Black. Black is still, he's hit the wall, he's dropped back, he's looked to the inside, but he still has yet to find a way by the 00.
Now Steve Ritter seems to have figured out something on an inside line as well.
Yeah, Ritter, where did he come from? Haven't talked about him. We've been focused on the lead so much, but here comes Steve Ritter with the dive and gets by both of them. I wonder if he has fresher tires. It seems that he must.
Well, these guys...
because we think about it, Brandon, we do have Yazik and Ward in 6th and 7th. I think during a little bit of a break there while we were doing some quality stream work, we may have missed a set of pit stops, because Yazik and Ward are 6th and 7th now. We do have Steve Ritter in 3rd, and he is a man on a mission right now.
Being told that these guys should all be on the same run here, I think they just may have found something at the bottom of the racetrack, Corey.
Yeah, I think we're gonna Silent Joe, the fact man behind that.
Absolutely.
Well, we got to thank Silent Joe there, as Evan Black a big wiggle off turn number 4. So if that is the case, then that is phenomenal tire management by Mitch Brown, by Steve Ritter, to be able to methodically stay back there, run their own pace, but then have that much speed left at the end of the run.
Evan Black showing some pretty good speed right now, just can't seem to get past that 00. Now Jared Mogard maybe moving into the bottom, trying to find something, but Evan Black gets above him side by side down through the corner.
I think it was almost the other way around. Maybe Mogard is just finally giving way, realizing you're faster, let's just not kill each other in the process. So Let's see if the 99 is able to pull away as we are on lap number 108. And it's not something that we say very often, Brandon. In fact, I don't think I've ever said it. So I'm going to be tentative. Are we going to have green flag pit stops at Bristol?
We might. And I don't think I've ever been a part of green flag pit stops at Bristol. I don't think a lot of drivers have had the opportunity to pit on a green at the Bristol Motor Speedway. But so if this does come about, Corey, this will bring a huge, huge challenge.
Now, there are 60 laps from what I can tell, assuming my telemetry is correct, which it usually is. Everyone's 61 laps into a run. Now, fuel will last here about 150 laps, but if that's about 90 to go, which is where we are now, and that puts them right at a 150 lap run. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to run 150 laps on a set of tires.
Definitely not. I would not want to run that much on a set of tires either.
We are already, we started the race running about mid-15s or mid to high 15s. We're down into the 17-second bracket now, so there's going to be a point coming up where we're going to have a battle for the lead, which is right now.
Yeah, the 18 has caught the 85, now fighting for position. Loose off of turn number 2 gets the 85. Now, a couple of lap cars up ahead of them, trying to fight for the lead.
Mitch Brown doing what he has done best, running the bottom, but there's going to be lap cars here. Troy Haight in the 28, number 84 machine in front of the leaders. These guys are trying to stay on the lead lap now. We only have 11 drivers on the lead lap right now. But here we come off corner number 4, taking lap number 115.
Drew Carroll trying to stay out front of that 18. Mitch Brown hungry for a win this season. Trying to get it done here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Trying to work that bottom groove. Trying to play it better than the 85 of Drew Carroll.
The 85 hasn't had the practice to run that groove that Mitch Brown has, so I'm not quite sure how well he's going to be able to play defense on it. As you could tell as they're passing that lap car, the number 84 machine right now, Mitch Brown is running where he's used to running. That's Raymond Castile in the 84. Mitch Brown's in familiar territory, but Carroll has not been down there too much.
Yeah, I almost think Mitch Brown is trying to drive it into the bottom just a little bit too hard. Now kind of going from center of the corner and chopping the wheel down and try to get that run off. Seems to be working okay for him.
Yeah, let's go on board yet again and just kind of get a little bit of telemetry here as he's lost a little bit of time. We'll kind of see how he's running this Bristol Motor Speedway. You can see here, even this far into a run, hitting about 132 miles an hour. Runs the middle groove, cuts it low on corner exit, gets to about 109, again to about 129 miles an hour. And here he comes to the top of the racetrack.
Yep, trying to work the higher side now. Now, Drew Carroll will go up there and gonna block the lane a little bit. Now, right onto the back bumper does that 18 machine. Down to the bottom of the racetrack. Both of those drivers go that time by.
Yeah, so obviously Carroll is doing a lot of mirror driving at this point, trying to maximize whatever he can and just block whatever groove the 18 is attempting to run. Steve Ritter only about at 1.1 seconds behind this. I think this is going to be a 3-car battle pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We still see Steve Ritter working that bottom line. Just a very defensive line down.
Contact!
And, contact! Heavy contact for the lead. Very
85
loose
in
now
the wall.
into the corner. Sideways is the 85. Contact with the 84 to 16 now. Mayhem for the lead.
Wow, let's try to see if we can get that on replay if we can, because I think that at that point Mitch Brown just lost his patience there. And in all honesty, I can't really blame him. Go from the blimp cam here, you can see he was right to the back bumper, got into the rear bumper of the 85, and then huge shot to the center of the turn. That got the 85 loose, and he was never really able to recover into the front straightaway wall, and that cost him the spot. And then the 16 of Ritter got into the 84 Castile in the process.
Absolute craziness up here for the lead, but Mitch Brown is going to clear. He will be your new leader. That puts Drew Carroll back to the second position. Steve Ritter trying to catch back up.
Now, Brandon, this is a short track. Oh, the 85, he's out to lunch now. He's into the wall sideways.
Oh, boy.
This is kind of probably going to insinuate pit stops. We actually do have a couple drivers on pit road right now. Sean Muzik, who is lap down on pit road, but also Jared Mogard, green flag stop now. He was in the top 5.
Yeah, guys starting to make green flag pit stops, which is very interesting here at Bristol, Corey. Is something that I've never gotten the opportunity to see done before.
Yeah, I definitely not in my broadcast career, but I don't even think I've ever done it under my driver career either, so a new experience. But I was kind of alluded to this a second ago, Brandon. Being that this is a short track, how mad can Carroll be over that move?
I think he has the right to be upset over that move, but if you know, if Mitch Brown was faster, no doubt he's gonna try to find some way to take that position. As now it's a battle between the 85 and 16.
Because how much patience can you realistically?
Oh, he gets turned down the back straightaway. Drew Carroll gets turned,
and he's into the fence. Will a caution come out?
Caution
there
flag on the speedway.
Jared
Turned
Mogard
by the 16 of Steve Ritter off of turn 2.
Jared Mogard is going to be absolutely heartbroken right now. He's going to be at least 1 lap down, I do believe, but you can see here, that was actually rather light contact. I think that was completely incidental, but regardless, that's not going to help the 85's case at all. You can see the 16 there, just looks like that was just a matter of inches off of the corner, and very light contact into the wall, but still contact, and he will be 7th is Carroll, but still luckily on the lead lap.
Definitely, I don't think there was any intentions of wrecking him, but I don't think he had many intentions of lifting either.
I think he maybe thought there was better timing there to be able to make that pass cleanly, but, well, to be able to fall back into line, rather. I just don't think the timing worked out, but here the leaders come down pit lane, and I'll tell you, Jared Mogard, who, remember, he already pitted, he's 1 lap down, so he should take the wave around, get back on the lead lap that way. So right at the start of green flag stops, we had a caution flag.
Man, oh man, that was absolute mayhem, ladies and gentlemen, for that fight for the lead up there. Yep. Carroll getting shoved out of the way by a couple of drivers there. I think his tires were about shot on that 85 machine.
As Brian Yazik is scored as the leader right now, as we wait for stuff to cycle through. There's a couple cars on the back straightaway entering their stalls. The back straightaway and the front straightaway stalls do really throw off the scoring loops here, so we do have to wait for everyone's pit stops to cycle through for us to It looks like right now, Yazik, after that, is being scored as the leader. Evan Black in 2nd, Sam Maxwell in 3rd, Mitch Brown in 4th, Jeff Ward in 5th. Steve Ritter, Haggerty in 6th, Ritter in 7th. So, unsure of what happened to Mitch Brown there as to how he fell to 4th.
Yeah, I don't.
Is he on the front straightaway pits, Brandon?
No, I don't believe he is.
Well, that would explain it.
That could explain it.
That is kind of the that is the reason why in the real world we only have 1 pit road to eliminate that advantage. We don't have it on the iRacing service, so just that stop alone will cost Mitch Brown 3 positions. So Brian Yazik back to where he was earlier in the race, back to P1. Here we are for a restart, about to take lap number 134. Brian Yazik in the 55, the control car on this restart. Green flag back in the air on the lot, but we're racing at Bristol.
Heading down into turn number 1, down to 55, clears for the lead. 99 clears for 2nd position, but here comes Mitch Brown.
And here they come off of corner number 2. Sam Maxwell didn't get a very good start there, stuck to the bottom.
Caution
we're back
on the
under
speedway.
Caution. Jack Wells in the 80.
Looks like him and the 1 made a little bit of contact. The 80 kind of came down the racetrack across his nose, and that'll bring out yet another caution here at Bristol.
Yeah, pretty harmless spin there. Nothing, no real harm, no real foul other than the lost position for the number 80 of Jack Wells, as we will recollect behind the iRacing pace car. Brian Yazik, who's been up front for 51 laps, is scored as the leader still. As this race is ticking away, Brandon, we only have 65 laps left to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So laps ticking down here in the Kaufman Racing Graphics 200. Here for the ASRS Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series. Top three, Brian Yazik, Evan Black, and Mitch Brown.
As this race is clicking off, it's let's see, we do only have, Brandon, 13 cars on the lead lap at this point, and it was a lot less than that, but with the wave rounds and the lucky dogs, that number has inflated just a bit. So obviously there is a lot going on here at Bristol. We've had a lot of damaged cars, and you could just tell the variance in speeds in some of these drivers.
Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of drivers kind of have more speed in their own section of the racetrack than others will, so it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out to the end. We know Mitch Brown has an extremely fast race car. We know Brian Yazik has a fast race car. We know Evan Black can carry the speed as well, so this will be an interesting battle.
It most certainly will, and looks like I think we're going to get one to go this time by, but I quickly do want to note here on PTR TV, we do have an addition to the channel. Some people know, some people don't. We do have a social media guy. His name's Michael DeGroat. He is kind of the one responsible for obviously all the social media, but he is working very hard, has put in a lot of time to be a second producer here on the channel. Hopefully expanding our content further, allowing us to broadcast more races, pick up even more leagues, and grow that way. So, and he is actually doing a dual stream of this race now. So just a quick shout out to him. It is kind of an unlisted thing. His first ever broadcast in a formal environment. So quick shout out to him, and hopefully that is going well. We'll check it out after, and again, growing PTR TV.
Always good, and we're almost up to the 500 subscriber mark, guys. About what, just less than well,
there's math involved.
We're almost up to 450. Anyways, up to 443 subscribers. I just checked.
Yeah, you millennial need a calculator for that. 57.
Oh.
57 subscribers away from the big 500, and we just announced our new special event, Team Clash. So check out social media, and you can check out the Racer's Mind yesterday and find out about that. Should be a good time. A lot of stuff going on with that. Should be already has kind of gotten some good response, but we are ready for a restart. Brandon, take it away. Lap number 140. About to get on the board here.
Well, I feel attacked, but pace car ready to make its way down into pit lane here. The field in the hands of the 55 of Yazik. He's on the loud pedal. Green flag back in the air.
Fidget spinners, Brandon, fidget spinners. But right now, Brian Yazik gets the lead, gets the jump. But you can see the heavy damage to the number 99 of Evan Black. He's obviously been in the fence many a time, but still doing well in the second position. But Mitch Brown, the slow roller on the inside, up to third with also some heavy damage. We'll see if he can get back up there.
Yeah, Evan Black was involved with an incident with a lap car a little bit earlier in this race. That's where all the damage from his race car came in. But Mitch Brown trying to fight with him on the low side.
He is doing that, and Jared Haggerty in the 6th, kind of methodically getting himself into the top 5, into position here at the end, trying to take advantage of the gap to the inside that Mitch Brown left open, but not happening. Will fall back into the line. And also here comes Jeff Ward, our 4-time winner this season, to the inside of Mark Emerson for 5th.
Jared Haggerty back there in the 6th car. It's going to be 3 cars, a bumper to bumper here for the second position out on racetrack. Mitch Brown looking underneath the 99 of Evan Black.
Haggerty.
Not going to work. A little bit of a checkup there for Haggerty.
Haggerty in the 6th didn't know where to go, if he was going to be able to change lanes, go to the inside, or he just chose to stay in line, not open up the door up top for somebody else to fill it in, because already who's filling it in is Jeff Ward. We know the speed in that number 90 car. He is getting to the front, but I don't know how many laps, if he's going to have enough left.
Look at Jeff Ward coming back through the field right diving it down to the low side of the 6 car of Haggerty now. Now, not going to be able to hold it down there. Maybe he's going to stay side by side.
He'll drive it in the middle of the racetrack, trying to see if he can get a runoff corner exit, and it will not happen. We'll drop back into line, but something that we do need to note, Brandon, we've only been green for about 5 laps, and I'll tell you, that number 55, Brian Yazik, Loud Pedal Motorsports, he obviously is taking that loud pedal quite literally. He's out to a 1.5 second lead in just about these 5 or 7 laps from a restart.
Yeah, unbelievable right now. It's Brian Yazik out this far in front. And as you said, Corey, just dropped the green flag for the restart.
Now that could work to his blessing and to his detriment at the same time, because if he's killing those tires off, do we have enough laps for that to come into the effect as he's in the fence there in turn 1 and 2? Remember, we did talk about that in pre-race, where that is not something that people can use to their strategy. They need to try to stay off the fence. I think that was just an incidental contact, but I don't know. Is tire wear going to come into effect in 50 laps?
Yeah, I don't think it will, Corey, the way that he's running this, but we also have to remember that eventually he's probably going to get into some heavy lap traffic once again.
Yeah, he probably will, and then he'll be in a completely different ball game as perhaps Black and company can close in, but still, Jeff Ward is in the 5th position, and he is right behind 4th place of Jared Haggerty, but catching him is one thing and passing him is another. Let's see what it can happen. As Mitch Brown, big wiggle there.
Yeah, Mitch Brown has been working on the 99 of Evan Black, not quite able to get anything done with him, trying to work the low side. I think that low line has been just about burnt out for those guys now. Now, the 6 machine of Jared Haggerty trying to do something about it. Caution on the speedway. The 84 is around.
Raymond Castile in the number 84 machine. But we'll go back quickly on replay, see what happened to him.
Heavy contact with that inside wall. Looked like contact with the 25 machine down the back straightaway. And the heavy contact with that inside safer barrier went up the racetrack, and it looked like everybody else managed to get around him.
25 had a little bit of a wiggle, nothing drastic, but it doesn't take much at Bristol. When he wiggled, he moved down the racetrack just a little bit into the 84, who obviously that threw him into the inside wall, but here we are for pit stops. Let's see here if there's any strategy going on, and not a lot of laps left. We know how much track position is worth, but it does look like Mitch Brown, here he comes from the lead, well, effectively the lead at the moment, into his back straightaway pit stall. Remember, he started 30th, says the graphic right now, and that would indicate why he's on the back straightaway and why he's been losing these positions. So Mitch Brown will exit the pits right now, and just coming out of the pits, entering turn 3, but Yazik, Black, Ward, and Haggerty already on the racetrack, so Mitch Brown will fall into line in the, let's see, as the scoring passes by, all the way to the 10th position, so those back straightaway pits are taking the number 18 out of this race.
So, Brian Yazik holds the lead. Evan Black still there in 2nd. But yeah, Mitch Brown going to be pushed further back. Pitting on the backstretch really does hurt you, Corey.
Yeah, because by the time you get to your pit, the guys on the front straightaway are nearly done with their service, which really gives you no chance at all. Which is why in the real world, as we said, they've kind of morphed it into one effective pit lane. We don't have that feature built into the service. So, unfortunately for Mitch Brown, a winning car will most likely not win this race, but we're going to go restarting this race with about 40 laps to go, Brandon. That could fly by in just a matter of minutes here at Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely. Laps tick by quick here, and just a matter of a handful of laps to go here so far. These guys going to be ready to go racing once again here. Pace car going to make its way down into pit road this time by. They're stacked up, doubled up, ready to go. Green flag racing. 55, 99, 96, 98 are your top 5. If Evan Black can get a good jump on the restart, he could be able to sneak around the 55 for the lead. But pace car is in. Field is in the hands of the 55 of Yazik. He's on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air.
Green flag in the air. Yazik got to a pretty good sized lead. Jeff Ward, he's in very good position now in the 3rd spot, but now Haggerty's actually going to be in the better position. He's going to try to get that 3rd spot back on the outside groove.
The 90 Jeff Ward trying to hold that bottom line still. Kind of working out for him. He drifted up the racetrack a little bit more that last time by. Still going to be side by side down into turn number 3. Caution flag on the speedway once again, turn 3.
Now we'll see what happened here. Looks like it is Tom
44.
Gianni.
They were 3 wide back there. The 98, Sam Maxwell, looked like he was slower, and those 2 guys trying to get around him, and Sam Maxwell and the 22 made contact, and Tom Gianni nowhere to go but up at the outside wall.
And a couple other drivers.
Heavy contact with the 8.
The 42, I think, got some of that as well. So that's how Bristol works. Nowhere to go.
Saw the 89 also involved in that. Cautions bring cautions.
Yes, they do, and that'll bring a little bit of pit strategy to it. But to be honest, I kind of think your bed's made at this point. We have, I believe it to be 14, maybe depending if Jim Foose can get back on the track in time, 14 drivers currently on the track on the lead lap, and that may increase with every single yellow, so you can't really afford to lose that time, especially if you're pitted on the back straightaway. So at this point, as the laps tick away, I do expect these drivers to be on the track for the duration of the race. Brian Yazik is in the best position here to win this race. He has yet to pull into victory lane this season, but does have 3 top 5s and 5 top 10s this season, so he has been up front quite a bit, but has not been able to close the deal out. This does look like a good position for him to do so, but it's going to be very difficult with that, especially that number 90 machine. I know how fast he is, so this is going to be quite the battle, folks, so you do not want to miss the end of this race. So here we come. It looks like we should be getting 1 to go this time by. That will give about 34 laps to go, I do believe, when we get this race back underway. And remember, at almost 4 laps a minute, 35 laps. I mean, do that math. This race would be over in less than 10 minutes if it does go green, Brandon. So who are we going to pick here with what could be, I don't think it will be, but what could be the final restart?
Well, he hasn't led any laps today, but I'm going to go with the 99 of Evan Black.
A little bit biased in that decision, are we?
No, and I'm dead serious. I think Bristol, anything could happen, and I think Evan Black has a pretty good shot. I
don't usually go with a Ford. I don't think I ever go with a Ford, but I do think the 55 is in the best position, so we will see if either of our predictions are right. But Here we go. We are navigating through turns 3 and 4 here on the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway. The iRacing.com pace car in the pit road. We wait for the 55 to get on the loud pedal. And there he goes. We're back racing at the half mile.
Heading down into turn number 1, Brian Yazik with a great restart back there. Evan Black trying to hold the rest of those guys off.
And he does. He is in sole position of the second spot. Jeff Ward is stuck to the inside groove as Jared Haggerty will get sole position of third place. Jared Mogard moved his way back up to fourth. Remember, after that green flag stopped that he had to make and got stuck out, but
contact! The 90 machine spins!
He doesn't.
How did he save that car?
He is just that daggum good. There was contact there. We'll try to catch it on replay if we can quickly. See here, he ran to the inside, and as they exited the turn, he just made contact with the 00, and that got him completely straight shot to the apron, but managed to merge back onto the track in the 6th position. Amazing bit of driving.
And where Jared Mogard come from? He's back within the top 5.
Yes, he is, and he is looking to the inside of Jared Haggerty, so the Jared and Jared show for the 3rd position here, but we do know how difficult that groove is. 00 all the way to the inside, nothing happening. Here comes Drew Carroll to get into the action. Puts him in the wall. Drew Carroll sideways.
Drew Carroll.
I think Drew Carroll has been removed from the race via the incident limit because he has come in immediately.
Drew Carroll and Mitch Brown.
Remember, we have a 13 incident limit in the American Sim Racing Series. Once you get 13 incidents via iRacing, you're immediately removed from the race. That did look like what happened there, so that takes out 2 quick drivers here in the blink of an eye.
Wow, man, oh man. And, you know, I'm not really a fan of the incidents limits being removed, but that does play a huge factor into what could have been the deciding factor of this race had we gotten a couple more yellows.
Yeah, so that is definitely going to throw a wrench in the race right now. Drew Carroll being 5th in points, that is definitely going to be a detriment to him.
And keep in mind, they're going to have to start at the tail end of next week's race now as well.
Not quite sure where we are next week or when the Cup Series is next at it. Actually, the Cup Series will be at, I can figure this out in just a second here as we still battle on. Cup Series will be at Talladega on the 24th of April. So, I mean, if you're stuck in the back of the pack, that's not the best track. That's not the worst track to be stuck in the back at.
Very true. Very true. Evan Black holding off in second. Brian Yazik kind of in a land of his own at this point. He found his own zip code up front. But Evan Black in second. Jared Haggerty in third. Jared Mogard holding strong back there in fourth. And rounding out top 5 is Jeff Ward after that magnificent save.
Yeah, if he could salvage a top 5, Jeff Ward, then, I mean, he started the race on the pole. He's only led 1 lap in this entire race. You could see the damage to both ends of that number 90 machine, but I mean, it's Bristol, baby. He's still in the top 5, so if you can have, I mean, to his standards, a 5th place is a horrible day, but still, it's nothing to look down on.
Possible battle for the 3rd position. Jared Mogard, a power move down the bottom of the racetrack. Will he be able to clear? He does! Against the 6 of Jared Haggerty.
Yeah, that was a very good move here. He drove it to the inside, pulled off the old slider. Now let's see if Mogard can catch Evan Black on the number 99 machine.
Very good move down there to the bottom of the racetrack. Kind of almost a slide job type move. And Jared Haggerty couldn't really pull a crossover on him. Jared Mogard showing some pretty good speed into that race car now.
Yes, he is, but Brian Yazik out to a 2-second lead.
At Bristol, that's pretty big.
Now, on the lap tracker here, he's running pretty comparable times to 2nd and 3rd place as they will go through the scoring loop. Actually, he was about a 10th and a half faster, but to be up by 2 seconds at Bristol in this amount of laps is unheard of.
Yeah, he's got some serious speed in that race car, and he definitely found something that these other guys haven't.
At Bristol, you have to keep it off the wall. You have to avoid contact. You can see that number 55 does not look like there is more than 1 or 2 scratches on it, and those would just be from tapping the wall, running all the way against the fence. You can see just does it right there, as a matter of fact, kicking up some sparks. But he's done just about everything you need to do, and he's done it with complete just calmness and patience, and just hasn't put that car in a bad spot yet.
Yeah, so doing everything right here tonight is the 55 of Brian Yazik. Meanwhile, back there in 7th, Evan Black starting to kind of inch away from Jared Mogard. Aaron Mogard isn't really catching him at the moment. Back there in 4th is Jeb Ward. Got around the 6th of Jared Haggerty.
And a couple of drivers who have worked their way into the top 10 via the attrition that has gone on that I want to make note of. Jason Stewart in the 11. He's up to the 7th spot now. We haven't talked about him. He started back in the 25th position. Sam Maxwell, he's been at the ladder into the top 10, but a good solid run in the 8th position. David Howard Jr. running in 9th. Troy Haight in 10th. Andy Veltman running in the 12th position here. So some drivers getting some good runs here. It's kind of the attrition battle here, and it's really working out. You can see right now that the 11 machine, Jason Stewart, up 18 positions since the beginning of the race. So he is the one right now that is the biggest mover of the race.
Absolutely. So laps ticking down. 11 to go this time by for Brian Yazik. Man, oh man, sitting on a fast race car tonight, but coming up to some pretty heavy lap traffic.
Yes, he is, but he only has 10 laps to go to deal with it, and he's up by 2.5 seconds. So in all honesty, he can take his time. He really doesn't have to fight it, and I don't assume that the lap traffic will get in his way too much. They have nothing really to fight for at this juncture in the race, so they move right to the inside, allowing him, that is Sean Music in the 1, allowing him right to the outside of the racetrack.
Same thing goes for the 8 machine. Looks like the 8 is going to have no problem moving out of the way for your leader. These guys have put on a pretty good race tonight here, Corey. You know, a couple cautions here and there, but overall, I'm pretty impressed by the performance of these drivers here tonight at Bristol.
Right now, my graphic shows 6 cautions for only 26 laps of yellow flag, which at Bristol, with a full field that we essentially had, we had 32 drivers take the grid. So 32 drivers only having 6 cautions. That'd definitely be qualified as a successful race.
Absolutely, I'd say, and a couple of guys, unfortunately, not going to be able to finish. Drew Carroll, 5th in points. He's going to have a rough night getting disqualified from this race due to the incident limit. So very, very tough break from him. As I know Steve Ritter and Mitch Brown also got disqualified. So a couple of guys having some rough nights, but the guy who is not having a rough night tonight will be the 55 of Brian Yazik. He is just on cruise control right now, Corey, trying to make it to the finish.
Yeah, a really good guy Brian Yazik is for Loud Pedal Motorsports. Like I said, he's been up front, really in contention to win every race really this season in some facet. Been in the top 5, has yet to be able to take it home. We've already reached the iRacing cutoff lap, so if caution comes out, this race is over. So next flag will end the race, but definitely a well-deserved victory for a very competitive driver. If he does, can run 2 more laps.
2 laps to go here in the ASRS Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series. Now he's entering turn 3, now heading down through turn 4. Shows just how long a lap takes. I only got 1 sentence in before he's taking the white flag. 1 lap to go here on PTR TV. Brian Yazik, hard-fought battle all race, but looks like he will be coming home with the victory here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Brian Yazik gets the win.
Very hard fought, very well deserved victory for the 55 of Brian Yazik. A career best finish in ASRS for Evan Black, our commentator here. Jared Mogard in third. So that is the top three finishers for tonight's race, the Coppin Graphics 200. So we will step away and hopefully be able to talk to at least a couple of these top three finishers here tonight. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PTR TV with the post-race show here from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Going to catch up to a couple of drivers, and, well, I have caught up with the third-place finisher of Jared Mogard. So, Jared, you come home with a third-place finish here tonight. How do you feel?
We'll take it, I guess. Just, par for the course. 4th place at best, so I guess we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a pretty tough race for you all around. What were you feeling of that race car?
I don't know. We were just off a little bit. I don't know. We've been running a lot of dirt, so it's been hurting our asphalt stuff. So I think we got to regroup and get back to doing asphalt stuff. But I don't know. We felt okay. Just typical cup race when we got 3 guys that are probably, well, I'm not gonna say they shouldn't be in the league, but they're half a second faster than everybody. Running for 4th place at best is getting pretty old. So I guess to come home 3rd is like a win. But I don't know. We tried the pit strategy there during that long green flag run, and it bit us a little bit, but we were able to come back to 3rd. So like I said, when you're fourth place car at best every week, and we got guys that are, you know, half a second or so faster than you, third place I guess is pretty good.
Well, strong third place at that. Is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, just gotta give a shout out to Nick Hoffman and Hoffman Racing Graphics and Twitchy Racing Reports for being on this car. Thank you guys for the broadcast, and Jim for the league, and we'll continue our point battle, Corey, tomorrow in the late models.
All right, Jared. Thank you and congratulations on your podium finish.
Appreciate it, guys.
And I believe Corey has caught up with second place driver Evan Black.
All right, Evan, I don't think I've ever interviewed a coworker, but you finished second here tonight at Bristol. It was a hard-fought battle. Didn't seem like you or many people had anything for the 55 of Yazik, but you were always in a pretty good battle with a couple drivers in the top 5. So kind of talk about your night.
I really don't feel like I should have finished any better than 5th. I did not have the speed for many of those guys. I know I think Yazik and Ward got a penalty there around a halfway point, and that helped me to get by some of them, and Ward wasn't able to get back by me, but Yazik was.
Let's talk about quickly how the track progressed. We know how the dynamic track works. We know Bristol is right up against the wall, but there were some drivers that were able to slow roll and make that bottom work and make some passes. What was that like for you, and was there anything down there for you?
I could not run down there. Mitch Brown was doing an amazing job down there. I do not know how he was doing that, but he was able to roll the bottom, got by me and Mogard, and I think maybe a few others down there, so he was doing an awesome job. It was too tight for me down there. It was too tight up against the wall also, but
yeah, well, you made it work on your obviously your part-time ASRS kind of season you got going on. You finished career best second, so who do you want to give a shout out to tonight?
I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Primetime Racing TV. It's nice to have them on the car. My team, Primetime Racing, Rapid Fire Graphics, and you guys for doing the broadcast.
I sensed a little bit of a theme there with your sponsors. I kind of like it. But
yeah.
Again, congrats on your finish, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Yeah.
And now Brandon will talk to the winner of tonight's race, Brian Yazik.
Yeah, he's out of the race car now. Your winner tonight here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, driving number 55, Brian Yazik. Brian, how you feeling?
You know, for running 200 laps at Bristol, I feel pretty good. I could probably go run another 200. I mean, you know, it's not too hot. I got the well, there went the fan, so that happened live. But no, it feels great to finally capitalize on one of these things, man. We've given away so many of these races this year, and to pull it down here at Bristol, which has always left me snake bit before in other leagues and other different things, to come back and conquer it and lead as much of the race as we did, come back from that penalty. And we finished with some scratches down the right side, but you know, we at the Loud Pedal Motorsports shop, we build the right sides extra tough at places like here, so you know, because we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, tell us a little bit what it was like in that race car, especially battling through some of that heavy lap traffic.
You know, Bristol, the top is the 100% way that you have to get around here. That's just that. I got pretty lucky in some of my coming back up through the field. You know, I was kind of figuring out a way to make the bottom hook and make that work out for us. So that really helped getting through traffic and making sure that we kept the nose clean, because, you know, especially at a short track and the way that iRacing has these sets built, the front temperatures can get, if you get any kind of nose damage, you could be in some trouble really quick. So it was really important that we kept that nice and clean and happy. Dodged some of the bullets, recovered from our own mistake, and brought it back P1. I mean, that's all you can ask for this HPP simulation Ford Fusion.
Was there any moment in this race that maybe a little bit scary, battling through some of this traffic, maybe, near collision with someone that maybe it came through your mind that you weren't going to get the win tonight?
Yeah, there was a couple times coming up through there, some of the slower traffic. I think they were either going to let me go or something like that, and we almost met a couple times in there, so that wasn't that was a little scary, but all in all, we brought it home clean. We led the most laps. We didn't get the halfway bonus because I screwed up and kind of forgot what end of the track I was in. Bristol's kind of notorious that way. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh wait, no, I want to pit, and I saw the cone go by me on my left monitor, and I went, oh well, that just got interesting.
Well, you come home with a strong finish here tonight, first place. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank and shout out to?
Like I said, HPP Simulation. That's some of the best pedals on the market that you will get your hands on. I mean, you saw it tonight. We led a whole bunch of the race and was able to keep our nose clean because of those pedals. If you want to pick up a set, hppsimulation.com. Loud Pedal Motorsports, Scott Eckers Chassis, Amsoil by Adam Blattel. He owes me $1 now, so that's going to be fun to cash that in on. Jim and all of ASRS for putting on the series, and looks like Kaufman Racing Graphics for sponsoring the event. So thanks to you guys for broadcasting, man. You guys do a great job, and I always look forward to going back and watching them.
All right, awesome finish, Brian. Pleasure talking to you, and congratulations on your first place finish.
Hey, thank you. Hopefully we'll be up here a lot more as the season goes on.
So that
Your
is
winner tonight, Brian Yazik.
That is the post-race show, so we'll wrap up coverage tonight with the final rundown. The victory tonight, as we just spoke to, leading 117 laps, was Brian Yazik. Evan Black, PTR TV commentator, finishes in second. Jared Mogard in third. Jeff Ward in fourth. Jared Haggerty in fifth. Then we have Sam Maxwell in sixth. Mark Emerson in seventh. Jason Stewart eighth. David Howard Jr. in ninth. And then Troy Haight rounding out your top 10.
Finishing 11th is Tom Gianni. Andy Veltman in 12th. 13th is Jay Graves Jr. 14th is Chris Titus. Tim Knott 15th. 16th is John Kennedy. 17th is Sean Muzek. 18th is Jack Wells. 19th, Raymond Castill. And Jim Foose rounding out top 20, Corey.
Remaining results will flash by on the screen right now. You'll see them. So, again, that was a great bit of driving by everyone tonight. I want to quickly thank our channel sponsors, Movement Fabrications, Krutz Custom Graphics, iBog Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Our cameras brought to you by Track Cams for Gourmets. And, of course, we want to make our channel better. Need a little bit of help from the fans, so check out our Patreon. Various levels of donation tiers. You can get rewards, some good stuff if you don't mind helping us out. So, again, have a quick look at that. That's been another broadcast here on PTR TV. Brought you the ASRS Twitch Race Reports Premier Cup Series here tonight. Stay tuned later in the week. We have the Rivalry Racing League, the Hardline Racing League, and obviously a full week of content next week with the Racers Mind and the Integrity Racing League, along with ASRS. So signing out of the booth, Corey Silva and Brandon Krutz, Joe Chris behind the scenes. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a great night. Catch you next time.